There's a lot of men dead, so we can sleep in peace at night when we lay down our head.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Better and better, thanks.
Good. I'm Kyle Olson with the Midwesterner.
Midwesterner? Okay.
What brings you out today?
Freedom. Freedom for the kids. Freedom for the families. Freedom for Michigan. Freedom for the United States.
So what is your concern with Gotion coming to Michigan?
Well, you know, you have a foreign country coming in. Appears that they're coming in to dictate the terms that are going to be leveled for this plant. They're going to have to be on the boards. They're going to have hire Chinese citizens. When has that ever happened in America? When has that ever happened? I'm not aware of it. It could be happening. It shouldn't be happening. We have Americans that need those jobs, okay? You want to invest in a plant over here? We'll consider it, but you hire Americans, American citizens. We don't need Chinese people and citizens coming here. They're doing very well over there. So,
do you think that the local leaders are listening to the people out here today?
Obviously not, right?
Why do you think that is?
Because either they're complicit with what's going on, in whatever manner that might be, They're probably good people, but they're misdirected. At best, they're misdirected. It could be something a lot darker than that. The American people are. A year ago, we weren't out here. We weren't out here doing things like this a year ago.
What's changed?
American people are waking up. Okay, they see the government is the failure of the federal government. They see the failure of our state government not representing them in the way that they say they're going to go out and vote, but they vote for abortion. They vote for Prop 2. They vote for Prop 3. And for people that know what's going on, like the people here, they know that's wrong. Okay, we need people in office that are going to do what they say what they do, and the platforms of freedom and family and God and country first. That's it. It's pretty simple. They're complicating it on purpose, I believe. So,
thank you.
Thank you. You'll probably have to edit a lot of that.
We'll be good. Thanks. Hey, good. My name's Kyle. I'm with the Midwesterner website. How are you?
Good.
Good. So what brings you out today?
Well, my name is Isaiah Davison. I'm one of the organizers that did this. Or brought this out. So a group of us all got together, and we're all, kind of upset that they're trying to push this thing through. We're all worried about the ecological impact. We're worried about the ties to the CCP, and we just want our voices heard, and we want to, be able to.
So when did you start getting concerned about this?
All from the very get-go. We've been talking, a group of us, concerned citizens. I'm not in Green Township. I'm right next to it. I am literally neighbors. Mm-hmm. I'm a mile and a half from where the plant is proposed, as the crow flies.
Downwind?
Downriver. So, if this affects the water, it's going to affect my property. It's going to affect everything around here.
Talk a little bit about that, because a lot of the focus has been on the CCP and the connections to the Chinese Party, Communist Chinese Party. But talk about the potential ecological impact.
The potential ecological impact is we have 150,000 tons of unregistered or unregulated material coming in from China every year for this plant to build battery components. It's not the full batteries, it's the components. After speaking to a bunch of firefighters that have experience with electric vehicles and dealing with that, there's a lot of problems if anything this actually catches fire, if there's an impact, if there's a leak. They're very insistent. Gotion USA is very insistent on being so close to the river, the water. And you got to wonder, is it for something they actually need or whatever the case is. But if something happens, they're that much closer, and it's just going to go straight out from that point all the way out to the Great Lakes. And I'm originally from New Jersey. I'm from the East Coast. Okay, I grew up. I had woods around where I could play, but it's city. It's, I came out here 8 years ago and I fell in love with the country. I love it out here. I love the woods. I love having the big open field. I love hunting. I don't want anything to happen to that,
So there's a meeting taking place tonight. What's your reaction to that meeting?
The issue with that meeting is that any questions that were submitted are filtered by Jim Chapman, the Township supervisor. He has been he has not been very forthcoming with some of the details and some of the voting that has been going on. He has not been very forthcoming with how far along they are in negotiations and talks. We really feel that he is kind of pushing it. I watched him and listened to him at the Democratic Party meeting because it was open to all members and all parties. It was basically a rah-rah, ooh, yay, battery plant thing from them. But he actually showed up, he talked, and he was all about it. He was all for it. There's some big issues with that whole board going and how prominently they're for it. Whether they say it in the meeting or not, what they have on record is showing that they're for it.
Do you think they're listening to residents?
I don't think they're listening to anybody. We had over 200 people at the meeting. They shut it down. They refused to listen to any more people. There were still a lot of people that wanted to speak, a lot of people that had concerns. They shut it down so we couldn't even hear it. I was the second person that spoke there, and they're not willing to listen to the constituents at all.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Trying to get it to load. it already.
Sure.
Right now. If you're going this way, I don't want to move
I'm stopping right here, but yes. Go behind. Hey, how you doing? See all the people in the line. She did it like the day before.
Hey, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you. You were able to make that. I didn't know that you. Let's see if we let you go live. I didn't know. Outside of Ferris State University, back there, they have a company that is controlled by the Gotion. They are looking at batteries. As you can see, there's a ton of people that have showed up out here so that they can say no to the CCP. Township supervisor, probably found it down here in the filled out to these guys. Super unfortunate, but it's great to see all the people that showed up here today. Just say no, and I'll tell you, the number of groups that we've seen here, people drive up and down this road, it's incredible. A lot of support. They say no to the CCP. They say no to this battery plant here. They want American companies. They want companies that are smart environmentally. And you're just not going to get that with the CCP. Super unfortunate. If you're not here, you should totally be here. You want to tell them why they should be here, Jeff?
All right, yeah. Really interesting. Thought I'd show you what's going on here. These rabbits. Here with some cameras.
Okay.
Curious if you wanted to talk to the camera a little bit.
Hey, I'm Kyle.
Hey, Kyle. Yeah, Ryan Kelly. Good to see you again. Yeah,
So what brings you out today?
Same thing all these other people are here for. We're not happy with the Chinese Communist Party wanting to make a manufacturing plant here in the Big Rapids area. The people don't want that. The township, though, probably going to fall on deaf ears with them. They're probably going to want to go ahead and move forward. We know that our state government, the governor's office has already sold out to the Chinese Communist Party. We're putting our money to the Chinese Communist Party to build a factory here in Big Rapids. I'm out here to support all of these individuals that want to say no to the CCP, say no to Gotion.
So you proposed an alternative. Talk a little bit about that.
I started reaching out to companies all across the country here in America, and I looked for alternatives that might want to take this project on in place of Gotion. And I started finding companies that were owned by Americans and not foreign governments. And I came across a couple, and I ended up talking with one group that was interested in what that would look like. There's lots of complexities there in order to even get them to the table. I did email the township here for Green Township and did get a reply, and they basically said, hey, we'd open the door to anybody that wanted to come, but this sounds like a political stunt versus an actual option.
They said that?
Yeah, I'll be happy to share their response publicly as well. I think I shared it on Telegram or something like that. But so they did reply, the Green Township supervisor did. And I've tried to get the attention of Gretchen Whitmer and other state representatives to say, why don't we sit at the table and talk about bringing in an American company versus a Chinese Communist Party, a communist-owned company. And Gotion, with their Articles of Association, as we know, is sworn allegiance to the Constitution of the Chinese Communist Party and not America. So probably what will happen if they do put this factory here, there'll probably be a sovereign little area that is governed by China and not America.
So what would you like to see the local leaders do?
What's the question?
What would you like to see the local leaders do?
Reject this this factory going into this local area. Say, hey, look, we'd love to have a factory in the area, but we want it to be owned by a company that's controlled by Americans and not foreign governments.
Great, thank you.
Good to see you, Kyle.
Yeah, you too.
Sure, yeah. Thanks, guys.
Oh, okay, so they took the different. Interesting. Waving all over our building and not allowing.
That's what I can have for the friend and my parents. I was like sweating in my jacket. I was like, I don't know.
Let's go. No, let's keep going. And then we'll go down there.
Just say no, CCP. No commies. No CCP. Just say no. No CCP. No. But yes. I would sit right there.
Hi, my name is Kyle. I'm with a website called The Midwesterner. How are you?
I don't think I can't be interviewed.
You what?
I can't be interviewed.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Yep, thank you. Let's talk. He was. Ready? Let's cross. Hi, I'm Kyle. I have a website called The Midwesterner, and we're out talking to people. So, would you be willing to talk to me?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can keep it together long enough.
Oh, that's all right.
Strikes a chord with me, but we're just here to support, you know.
So,
support people that are opposing it.
What are your concerns?
Environmental hazards, biggest one for me.
So talk about that.
I don't really have a lot to say about it. I think they're being dishonest about it. We all know that there's environmental hazards when it comes to any type of corporation or factory being built, you know, whether it comes from the ground up or from just the hazards that we deal with on a regular basis with chemicals and whatever else that they're using in their factory. They haven't been very transparent with the people. You know, they're holding back information. James Chapman being one of the biggest ones that I've seen change his story several times. Chuck Thalen's changed his story several times.
What's your message to them?
I'd like them to be more transparent, tell the people the truth, you know, it's ridiculous. They work for us, you know. He works for the voting public, and I think that he's forgotten that. So,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, can you interview them? Who are they with?
I've met them before. I know.
Who are you guys with?
We're with the Midwestern. Midwestern.
What's that? Oh, website. Okay, tell me more.
Just say no, CCP! Just say no, CCP! Just say no, CCP! Just say no, CCP! No, CCP! Just say no, CCP! Just say no, CCP! Just say no, CCP! No, CCP! No! We the people say no! No! Just say no! CCP! Just say no! CCP! Just say no! CCP! No! No! CCP! That's how that guy! No! CCP!
I know, right? Right? For real. For real.
Well, that's interesting because it kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Just say no, CCP! Just say no, CCP! Just say no, CCP! Just say no, CCP! No, CCP! No, CCP! No!
Right, right, yeah. Well,
Oh, there's good fire!
awesome.
Recognize you!
Just say no.
Okay, yeah. I don't think so. I yeah, more license than I think I was talking to me.
Gotion, go home.
Gotion, go home!
Gotion, go home.
Gotion, go home!
Gotion, go home. No motion. Just say no, CCP.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
What is the total?
You are the Sarah. I didn't know I was talking to a kid.
Pete Hoekstra.
Hi, how are you? How's it going?
I think Joe Box is down here.
He came to visit you guys at the reservation. Oh, sure.
So you're not in DC? Where are you at?
I was somewhere.
In my elevator. Oh, my husband's in it. You like my art? Yeah. I got it across the street. Hey, there we go.
$4 million. And we can at least have a good time.
Pete's been working.
And we wouldn't hurt the country. We would stimulate the
So this is Ambassador Pete Hoekstra. What brings you out today?
Well, I mean, support the grassroots efforts here against the Gotion plant. If we're going to stop this, it's going to be through the grassroots effort. Obviously, Lansing's not going to be any help.
So you've been very vocal about this. Talk about some of the points that you've been making.
Well, for me, it's strictly a national, and it's not strictly, but my background on the Intelligence Committee in the House, this is a national security risk. Okay, America's giving money to a country that for the last 20 years has been stealing us blind, stealing our technology, and now we're going to give them $4 billion to invest here? No, this is absolutely crazy. This is a vital technology. America needs these capabilities. We need it. America and our allies need battery capability. We shouldn't be subsidizing and enhancing China's capability to build the new batteries of the future. This is crazy on just about every level.
So Gotion today, they say that they filed their paperwork for the CFIUS review. Talk about that process. What does that mean?
Well, it means that we're going to have an agency within the federal government that's going to do a cursory review. I don't know whether they will actually get into the questions that really need to be answered. Okay, is do we want to invest American dollars in a critical technology? Remember, Congress just passed $52 billion with the CHIPS Act. Why? We wanted to have chip technology here in the U.S. And now the state of Michigan, some Republicans and Democrats have decided, well, we'd like to have batteries, but we're going to do it with China. And so, we're totally out of step with where the rest of the country is. But getting back to CFIUS, they'll do a cursory review. I don't think they'll get into the deep issues that we need to get into.
Like what?
It's how much is this controlled by the Chinese Communist Party? What do we do to secure technology here? The issue that we raised yesterday. FARA. You've got people who are advocating on behalf of a Chinese company. I'll tell you, this one thing the federal government has done right. If you advocate on behalf of a foreign government or a foreign entity, you need to register with the government. As far as I can tell in the review that I've done, the people that have been out here, including Chuck Thalen, he's not registered with FARA. He's not going through the disclosure process. So there's a number of different things going on.
Do you have the feeling that the township people, the local people are sort of in over their heads?
Oh, no. I never underestimate local people.
Not the people here, but I'm saying the township people.
I think they're under a tremendous amount of pressure. The chairman of the committee to investigate the CCP, Mike Gallagher, I think today he said, because the FBI has been speaking out against what the Chinese government is doing here at the federal level and at the state level, right? And what he said is, what the FBI calls stalking and harassing, it's more mafia-like techniques. And, I'm sure they've been using, that kind of pressure on local officials, the enticement of all these, all those jobs, this economic development, and who knows what else they're doing to intimidate local officials. But now I think that, local voters, the local population, and it appears, I think we're making progress with local officials as well, that they recognize the risks. Were they fully aware of the risks at the beginning? No. Are they now? Yeah, I think so.
So about 2 or 3 weeks ago, the FBI put out an alert, and they're concerned about how China may be able to use cranes to spy. So thinking about that, if they have roughly 1 square mile in the middle of Michigan, which is actually in the middle of North America, what sort of activities could they do?
They can establish listening posts, right? They can make this by what do we mean by a listening post? We have them around the world. You just gobble up data that's flying through the air, right? And you suck it up. What you got to remember with China, it's not one plant. It's this plant with other plants. How do they connect? And how do you create a web of influence or a web of espionage? Because every Chinese company has the same constraints and mandates on it from the Chinese Communist Party that they are to work on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party. So it's not an isolated plant. This is part of a bigger network. This is why you see them trying to do these major projects in Michigan and North Dakota and Iowa and all of, they're not dumb. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Hey, great. Good to see you. Your project's going well?
Hey, good.
Good. Glad to hear it.
How can you stay? What are you wearing? No, I've got a bunch of layers on. I just came back from Florida today. Yeah. So we're in Florida. We're in Banana Springs. No, I don't think so. No, but yeah. So hey, we talked about this last fall.
How you guys doing? Good, how are you? Where are you with? The Midwestern? What's that? Okay. Well, I'm like the woman here. Oh, how are you? Nice to meet you.
CCP!
Where do you live? I live in Lincoln. Awesome, guys. How are you? Good to see you.
Beautiful.
Oh, CCP!
I'm taking all these for.
Thank you.
83% no. Awesome, really? 83%. Wow.
I know.
Oh, no. Yeah, I have. I'm Tracy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Charlie. So, what brings you out today?
I don't want the CCP in my backyard.
So, talk a little bit about your concerns with the project.
I have a lot of environmental concerns. They're wanting to put this on a watershed that with streams that lead to the Muskegon River. The chemicals that they want to bring in, they haven't disclosed exactly what kind of chemicals they want to put in or use. Obviously, I have concerns about the Chinese Communist Party ties with Li Chen and Li Zhen as the owner and the owner's son. So those are my big ones.
Do you feel like the township leaders are listening?
No. Nope.
Why?
Because you talk to them and they just refute what you say. They don't take your considerations or take your concerns into consideration and try and be forthright with you.
What's your message to them?
They need to go talk to their constituents, because our surveys that we've taken of their constituents in Green Township, it's not 90 to 95% support. It's the exact opposite.
Really?
Yep.
Because Jim Chapman, the township supervisor, has publicly said he has 90% support, but that's not what you're finding.
No, we have people that have gone and door knocked, and it's been the exact opposite numbers. The people that and I'm not sure how many houses we've covered so far, but they like we had just had somebody that canvassed 30 houses, and out of 30 houses there were 6 that were in support of it.
Were the rest, were they aware of what was going on?
I don't know, because I wasn't one of the canvassers, so
Yeah.
I just got the minimal information
Sure.
with the numbers, but
Interesting. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you.
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kyle. I'm with a website called The Midwesterner.
Oh yeah,
I
you
think
guys
we
are good.
we put a video out with you.
I think you did.
Yes, got you some
I
attention.
haven't even seen it though.
Oh, well, you did very well.
But I saw some of my pictures.
Good.
So
So what brings you out today?
fighting for this. We need to fight for our state, our country. We have a lot of national, resources here that we can't give up, and they can't be replaced.
So what compelled you to go to that meeting?
Fighting for my state, my country. My God.
What was it like to be there? Because the footage that we saw, it was a packed room. People seemed very supportive of what you were saying. What was it like there?
I would say 99% of the people, at least anybody that votes, there was only one that voiced themselves as being for Gotion, but we keep being told that 95% of the people all around here are pro Gotion, and that's not true.
What are you finding? Is it the opposite? What are you finding?
Yeah,
Can you talk to
opposite.
people?
A friend of mine, we went to 37 houses with a survey, went door to door. They didn't have to give us their names. We had their addresses, and they signed. Out of 37 people, only 3 were kind of hedged the other way. One was definite pro-Gotion, the other 2 were kind of... So, I mean, that's 93%, against.
So,
and everybody I talk to is against it, too.
So do you feel like the local leaders, the township leaders are listening?
No.
Are they?
No, and I personally had asked Mr. Chapman if we could have Mackinac Center come, because they're a professional alternative perspective. Absolutely not. And my friend put it in writing.
Why?
He doesn't want the opposition. And my friend put it in writing, and she was rejected. And I asked in person, and no, won't even consider it.
So what's your message to him?
Quit lying and listen to the voices, because he's lying and saying everybody's for this, and it's not true. I mean, we have the Austin gas fields here. I mean, lithium fires. I'm so cold
It's
I
cold.
can't talk.
Yeah.
You can't put those out. And if we had an explosion or a problem there, and with all the reserves of natural gas here, they'd never get it out.
Why do you think they're picking this community?
The water. I think the water. I think our proximity to the air base. I think they're just trying to get footholds into national, our reserves and things.
The CCP, you're saying?
Yes. I think it's a takeover. Our open borders, they're coming down from the north, they're coming in from the south, and they're dividing the country and going to spread out. Mm-hmm. And Michigan and our governor's helping them, and our president's helping them.
Well, thank you.
We need to stop it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. I'm Kyle. I'm with the Midwesterner website.
Yes.
What brings you out today?
Because what they're doing is wrong. They're trying to bring in the Communist Party to put a factory here that's going to be cleaning lithium and cobalt and destroying our rural community.
So what are your big concerns with the project?
Oh, there's so many of them. The biggest one is bringing communism right here in our small rural community. The other one is we're so close. The factory where they're proposing is so close to the Muskegon River, and we know that there's going to be, water overflow and stuff getting into the Muskegon River, which is just going to travel down and destroy our waters. The location that they're wanting to put the plant is on 4 watersheds that provide the water for the city of Big Rapids. There's just so many things. I mean, they want to move natural wetlands for this plan, and that's unheard of.
What's your message to the township leaders?
Bring it to a vote, not just
A community vote.
a community vote, not just Green Township, but Mecosta County, Osceola County, Newaygo County, all of the counties that are going to be affected. This is way, way, way bigger than Green Township.
Do you think they're open to that?
No, as of now, no.
We requested it at the meeting and they didn't even address it.
No, Jim Chapman, all he keeps doing is we're providing all sorts of information which he should be providing for us. And all he's doing is saying that we're fear-mongering. That's his favorite phrase these days. And we're not fear-mongering. We want the truth out. We want to know the truth. Don't lie to us. And that's what we feel is happening right now.
Thank you.
The other big question is how are they going to put out the fire there? There's one burning down, I think, Pennsylvania. They had to pour concrete after everything else failed. Batteries do not take water, they explode.
Exactly.
And they used what they're going to tell us they're using in the meeting tonight, and it failed down there big time. So they have a huge amount of concrete being poured on what would have been waterland. It's going to be a dump.
Yep.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Hey, with these people, would you please?
Sure.
They got a lot to say.
I am.
I'm Kyle Luce.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Nice name, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm also the Barton Township supervisor.
Oh.
Barton Township is the township that borders Green Township directly to the west. We're the very northeast township in Newaygo County. And Joe Fox is across the street representing us here in the 101st.
So talk about your concerns with the Gotion plant potentially coming here.
As the township?
First personally, and then as the township.
Personally, the CCP involvement scares the heck out of me. We don't need the CCP in the middle of our state. And they're already talking about Novi, and they're talking about Marshall. There's nowhere to go out from our state. I don't know if people know it, but we're kind of on a little island here, and there's really no escaping. So to have them embedded here just scares the heck out of me. And you know, the environmental, I grew up here. I grew up in this town. I'm 5th generation Barton Townshipper. We have a vested interest in our neighborhood, in our community. I went to school right up the street here. My wife went to college right here. We're from here. We're all from here. And it just scares the heck out of us that this is actually a possibility even.
So talk about the township perspective.
Now the township perspective, our township board took it upon themselves to survey. We decided as a board to survey all of our residents. There's 704 residents in Barton Township. We sent out 420 some odd household surveys. 148 of them came back as of today, and 20 of them were in support of the Gotion project. 82% asked us to come here and fight to keep this project from happening.
But Jim Chapman says that he has 90% support. What's your reaction to that?
I question that. There's a bunch of groups that are going out and actually surveyed Green Township right now. My wife is one of them. And the numbers are, I don't know what their numbers are, but their numbers are probably in the neighborhood of 85 to 90% in opposition from what we're hearing.
Well, the people I talked to, 19 were very opposed, and they were mad that they weren't even informed, much less asked their opinion. One person was in favor of it. He doesn't think there's any CCP involvement, and he thinks there'll be great jobs.
So what do you think is really going on? Because Jim Chapman, when you listen to him, like I said earlier, he says there's 90% support. He's not willing to listen to any opposition or questions. He's saying that this is, basically this is fear-mongering. What's your reaction to that?
Well, we know him, and this actually surprises us that they're acting this way.
Jim's been a colleague of mine for 25 years. He is a personal friend of mine. And we're township supervisors in the neighboring communities. I mean, we've met. We work together on the fire department. I spent 30 years on the fire department in Big Rapids. Retired 4 years ago as a captain. I know Jim Chapman, and I cannot get my head around how he feels that this is favorable for our community.
And why they don't care what their residents. They're elected to represent what the residents want, not what they want. It doesn't matter how great they think this is. Their residents don't.
And that's the thing that I can't understand, because if you live in a Chicago or a Grand Rapids and you're a city leader, there's a disconnect there.
Certainly.
But when you're a township supervisor, you're seeing people at church, you're seeing people at school, at the grocery store. You have a lot of interaction.
Exactly.
So I just don't understand how he just doesn't seem to be listening to people.
Right. We keep hearing that out-of-town folks are coming in from Newaygo County are coming in, and we are, and here we are. I drove 4 miles to get here. You know, we live 4 miles from this site. It took us 15 minutes to get to town, just like it does every other day we come to town. So it's like you can't say that this is not. And in his own words, this doesn't only affect Green Township. This affects our entire community. And it does. This is far-reaching. That river runs all the way down to Muskegon, and into that big, beautiful lake. And are we going to contaminate all that?
So what would you like to see him do?
I would like to see Jim say that they got in too deep, too fast, and that they made some mistakes, and that they now have taken consideration as to what the folks that actually live here want to happen, and perhaps apologize and see if he can remain.
On a higher level, we'd like the state and federal reps to stop China buying American soil.
That's the next step that has to. Tom Cotton, and he's one of them, and Katie Britt. They're killing it down there, and I hope they can continue. And Pete Hoekstra, and those folks were in total support of that. And I have in my sign here, not one more inch. I don't believe that we should be selling our soil to China, to the CCP. And it's not about China. It's not about the Chinese people. It's like, I feel sorry for the Chinese people because they don't understand
They're stuck.
They're stuck doing what they're doing. They're communists. We are not. And to bring that here and to pay for that to come here, and to write a check, our taxpayers, all these people are paying to bring all that here, and that just makes my head spin. I can't get my head around it. It's not good for our community. It's not good for Michigan. It's not good for the United States.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
It's good to meet you.
Thanks for being here.
2 Kyles.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Website called the Midwesterner.
Oh, okay.
You familiar with that?
Yeah, I've seen that. Have you seen the, where Gotion is?
Yes.
They want to put in there. Now, the environment's something that people are concerned with, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, when you have an overwhelming amount of rain and comes the flooding, and that stuff's going to go right into the neighborhoods. This is what happened last May. 6 to 12 inches, and that was after it was down some. So here you've got where it's going to come across. They won't tell all what kind of stuff they got. Cobalt, you've got lithium, you got all these things that there's a problem with. And nobody wants to do a dang thing about it. It's just outrageous. And they say that Jim Chapman says, oh, all the people are for it. Well, I haven't met one person out of Green Township that is for it, really. One's ambiguous to it, but he says with these jobs, we can't fill the jobs we got here right now. Yes, there is a problem with poverty, but it's a deeper issue than just putting some new jobs on and stuff like that. What we need to do is fill the jobs we have here first, and they're good jobs. I mean, with what they're paying, they won't say exactly what the hourly wage is. Sorry about that, but anyways, there's jobs here. You got Ice Mountain, $27 an hour. They can't fill it, okay? You got other factories. They can't fill the jobs here. You've got a factory that's sitting empty right now and stuff. So it's like, come on now. So you had 2,300 jobs here. What are you going to do but just totally mess up the economy?
Right.
That's all it's going to do. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you.
Hey,
Oh, you need a sign, don't you?
No, I don't. I got one right down here. Thanks.
You never signed?
No, we have a couple extra minutes. Yeah, we gave a couple weeks.
I know. But they were throwing them to me out of the cars.
better get some gloves on, bud.
You guys want to talk to the Midwestern for a second? Kyle?
Hi.
Don't be shy. If you want to. Sure.
Absolutely.
Hi.
Oh, is that makeup?
Yes.
No, you can talk to her. She's
All right.
got all the
Lori from the horse farm too.
Oh, hi.
Hi there.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Lori Brown.
How are you?
Very nice to meet you.
So, what brings you out today?
We are here because we're protesting the Gotion battery plant. This was kind of stuck in our backyard 3 weeks ago. We didn't know anything about it, and we are here to protest it. Jim Chapman and the Green Township Board kicked us out of the open meeting, said that the public wasn't welcome and they won't answer any of our questions. We have a lot of questions.
What are your questions?
Oh, we want to know about the environmental impact. We want to know why they keep lying about the Chinese, communist, their connection. Repeatedly, they've told us that. Jim Chapman, in an interview, said that he had 95% of Green Township support. There's no way. You can look at the streets, and there's no way that he has their support. We don't want this in our community. The vice president of Gotion on the TV last night said if we didn't want them, they'd leave. Well, we're making a point. We don't want you. We don't want you. And we're having a rally on the 22nd at my farm to prove that how much we don't want them. We want transparency, we want the truth, and we don't want toxic companies coming into our environment at all.
So, if you, what's your message to Jim Chapman?
My message is, Jim, the people are speaking, and we don't want your lies anymore. We want you to tell the truth, and we don't want Gotion here. We as a community don't want them here. We don't want the lithium. Go somewhere else. Go to an industrial zone. Don't take our farmland.
Thank you.
You got it.
I don't want to be recorded.
Oh, all right.
You don't want to? I don't want to.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You can give a comment, but you don't want to be live.
Oh, yeah.
Yours is really. Rhonda, you want to get in it too? Kyle will ask you a few questions from the Midwestern. Sure. Awesome.
Hi, so what brings you out today?
The fact that I do not want this battery plant in my town. CCP connections, hazardous connections to this. This is agricultural. This is not what we need here.
So talk a little bit about specifically, talk about the property and so how you think this would change the culture of the community.
You want to take that one?
Well, I think as far as the culture, they keep thinking that it's going to raise property values and bring people in, and statistically that's not going to happen. They said the same thing with Ice Mountain, that they would build new homes and it's going to bring people in, and it's not.
And Ice Mountain has been here, what, 15 years?
About 15 years,
When
yeah.
a big company comes in too, we're a small community, right? If there's anything that goes wrong, we lose. They'll always win. So there's just so many things here. And I think what really got us going is that we could see that they weren't being transparent. They were lying to us. The rules were changing. The boundaries were changing. And that was the red flag. So like at first I was not sure how I felt about it, right? But as when you would dig into the information, it just got worse and worse and worse. And when Chapman said 95% of Green Township was for it, we knew that couldn't be true. So we actually set up the canvassing crew, went street to street with our volunteers, and I'll tell you what, they reported back to us, 90+% per street said thank you and no.
So where do you think Chapman's getting his numbers?
He made those up. There's just no way. He said, I don't know. One of the answers he told my friend who emailed him was was like, oh, I heard a couple people came in my office.
He was on the radio and he said, oh, I got a couple phone calls, I got a couple emails, and I ran into some guy when I was in town.
Yeah, I have that email.
At McDonald's.
It might have been McDonald's.
That's what he said.
Okay.
I have the copy of that email that he sent to my friends, and it was lame.
So what's your message to him?
Chapman, you
resign.
You know, that I would have said, listen, anybody who's in politics, or you should listen to the people. When we went to the meeting, and I thought that was going to be pretty powerful, and then if we all came and said, hey, listen, that a leader would say, wait a minute, man, maybe we better back off a second. Maybe we better double check this. I mean, these are our constituents, and we're working for we, the people. But when he just went to Lansing like the next day and asked for money and said it's a game changer and it's all great and we all love it, that just did not set well at all. And then it really got big in our hearts.
I think he stated it well when he was on the radio, and he said he started out a farmer and then a police officer and then a politician. And that tells me everything I need to know, because a politician can be bought. A politician cares about themselves, whereas a representative represents
That's the key
the
word.
people.
I'm not against politicians, but you have a good point there. A representative. He was not representing. In fact, his demeanor even in the meeting, it was stiff-necked, it was gruff. I was really surprised. I wasn't expecting it. But you could get the vibe of it. And then calling us Antifa. Does this look like Antifa? I mean, and just calling us out. And he was demonizing his own citizens instead of saying, wait a minute, maybe we need to back up. That's what I think he should have done. He didn't do it.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
So, do we have a video yet of us?
Sure, whenever you're done here.
So, if anybody has any questions for
Hey, I'll dance with you just to get warm. Oh no, I don't. Okay, no, never mind. I don't want to dance to that song.
Bob, brother, Vancouver. Hey, Mike. Yeah, how you doing? Good. We're gonna be down to the coffee tomorrow. Welding over at the 10 to 12.
I'm not gonna make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then, where are you gonna be?
I'm gonna be down to
I thought that was Friday night here. I'll be sorry. I'll be there. You said you were I'm Vancouver, and it's my last one. I give it to you.
well, let's fight the CCP.
Oh, fight the CCP.
This guy's a Republican China, and he's a friend of Bannon.
Okay.
Good. Hey, Jackson, there's four of us from Jackson here. One of them is Mark, who's 82.
I figured out that
Hold on. How are you?
Hey, good. Christina Caramo. So we are live on YouTube. What brings you out today?
The fact that we have the Chinese Communist Party setting up shop in our state is terrifying. No sane nation would ever allow an enemy government to open a business in their state or their region and next to a large freshwater supply to the Muskegon River. This is absolutely horrible, and even in their documents, they swear allegiance to the Chinese Communist Party, the Youth Communist League, the Chinese Communist Party Constitution. We know that they want to tear down the United States of America, so these people are being very strategic, not only in their location within this area, within Michigan, but being in Michigan in the first place. And then we as Michiganders, even if you're not a Mecosta County resident, need to stand up and speak out about this. This is horrible.
So what do you think is happening at the state level? I mean, because it seems so obvious that this should not be taking place, but it is taking place. What do you think is really happening?
Well, what's happening is, let me take a few steps back. I'm a lifelong Michigander. I'm from Metro Detroit, from an automotive working family. And the reality is the working class, the middle class in our state have been just depressed simply because a lot of our jobs have been outsourced, whether it was NAFTA in the 90s or other globalist interests that caused a lot of those manufacturing jobs to go overseas. And what's happened is Whitmer has decided in order to bring back the manufacturing to our state, she's going to go to the Chinese Communist Party and the World Economic Forum to bring those interests back to our state. But the problem is Michigan does not benefit. It will be hostile organizations like the World Economic Forum or hostile governments like the Chinese Communist Party who will benefit and be in control of Michigan resources. So that's what's happening. So as Whitmer goes and tries to pledge there will be more jobs in the state, not really, because from what I understand, you maybe could correct me if I'm wrong, but many of the people who will be coming here to work for Gotion will be Chinese nationals. Is that accurate? So they won't even be American citizens.
Right. So what's your message to the township supervisor and the township leaders?
The township supervisors and the leaders who are allowing this to occur, I'm sure some are fighting back. They have betrayed their children's future. They need to be ashamed of themselves. They are destroying their kids' futures for short-term financial gain. They are the Benedict Arnolds of our time, and I stand by that statement.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Keep up the good work, y'all. Guys.